Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're diving into what could be another massive disappointment from a distillery on the decline. That's right, it's High West Midwinter Nights Dram. Well, it's gonna be Act 11, but that's the bottle for Act 10. So this is the new 2023 release of Midwinter Nights Dram. Big shout out to Dave Vogelsang. Thank you, sir, for sending a sample of this. This is hot off the press. As you may notice, the scenery is a little bit different. We have made our move. This will probably be my temporary filming studio for a little bit. It's not fancy like the last place was. No fire, for those of you who hated that. You still might see some content come out with the old scenery in because it just depends, but I wanted to get this one to you right away to either tell you to buy it or to save your wallet from disappointment on the old Act 11. There it is, Act 11, Scene 12. Thank you again, Dave, for sending this one. 98.6 proof. So there you go. I believe that's what they all are. 49.3% alcohol by volume, which would be 98.6. So, same proof as last year's. Now, if you'll remember, I'll try to link it above, I did a review of last year's Act 10. Thought it was pretty bad, honestly, for the price. And thought it was a decline from Act 9. So if you liked Act 9, I liked Act 9 more than Act 10. So here we are with 11, hoping they've redeemed themselves. Because High West, since they started using their own distillate, it's pretty terrible. I don't like much anything from High West, except the Burr Rye. I really enjoyed the Burr Rye, but that's still sourced high-aged stuff, so of course I liked it. All right, Rita mixed these up blind for me tonight, so I don't know which is which, but you'll know through the magic of editing. So first up, in the black, let's give it a sniff. It's like stale strawberry jam. Definitely the port comes through, right? These are port finish, in case you didn't know. It's there when there's like a stale caramel. It's just, it has a little bit of a stale note to it. Bready, some might say. It's like strawberry jam on toast. Let's take a sip. Is that what $130 tastes like? Hell no, it isn't. Good Lord. So it is very fruity. Exactly what I said on the nose comes through in the palate. A lot of strawberry jam up front. And I get like a stale piece of bread and some caramel. And kind of fades quickly. It's not very thick on the mouthfeel. Last year's was 120 doll hairs. Okay, I think this year's is 130 doll hairs. I told you not to buy last year's. I don't know which one that is, but whatever one it isn't worth the price. Alright, the green. Let's give this one a nosing. Hopefully it's better. This one smells even toastier and breadier. That's possible. The port influence is there, but it's not as sweet as the black. Let's take a sip. You know, just not impressed. That came out kind of like strawberry rhubarb, if you will, instead of strawberry jam. A little bit spicier on that one. A little bit longer finish, we'll give it that. It's got a weird, like, rye dill note. That I don't like ryes that taste like dill. And there's like a weird rye dill note here in the middle. Take a second sip of the green. Yeah, it's got this like toasty, bready, dilly type. The dill was fainter the second sip. That's what comes up front. Then you get the port influence, which is like strawberry rhubarb on the green. Longer finish, a little bit of spice to it. What's it worth? $50. 50 doll hairs is all I would spend on that. Massive disappointment, either one of these. I don't know why. It's not well-aged rye. And I don't think it's finished particularly long, if we're being honest. Which one do I like better? Let's go back to the black. The black's sweeter, but it's just so one-noted with like a shorter finish, and the green's better, but is it a return to good Midwinter Nights Drams? No, I wouldn't go that far. Let's get the answer key and find out which one it was. Rita wrote down here in an envelope because we're still moving. The black was Act 10 and the green was Act 11. So Act 11 beat Act 10, but barely, and it wasn't good. Don't buy it. Save your money. Save your money. I mean, Bourbonville's looking out for your wallet. High West, another damn disappointment. Like, can you pull your heads out of your collective asses and come up with something good? I mean, this is terrible. For 130 doll hairs, this is what you're going to put out. I mean, I don't know. I'd fire these people if I was leading High West, and that's what they want to do. Like, it's not good. For 40, 50 bucks, fine, it's passable. But it's got this weird, like, toasty, bready, youthy, dilly note. It doesn't come across as, like, excellent rye. It doesn't come across as, like, excellently finished either. It's like, what are we doing here? I would skip this release. Now, what should you get instead? Harder to find, sure. But something from Sagamore Spirits is probably a lot better, with an age statement and with a finishing statement as well. So this is a 6-year-old straight rye whiskey, finished for 2 years and 6 months in port barrels. So we're talking same finish here. Put a little clear glass here. So what's that? A port finished rye. This one cost 80 doll hairs. This was last year's. I think this was my rye of the year. Or dang close to it if it wasn't last year. Hopefully they're going to do another port finish this year. Color wise, yeah, the Sagamore is a little darker. And we know how long it's aged. We know it's MGP. I mean, very transparent. And cheaper. I mean, 80 doll hairs. Let's give it a nosing. Oh my God, just the caramels. There's a little bit of oak in here. The rye spice. The port is a bouquet of fruits. There's strawberry, blackberry, raspberry. Wow. The nose on this is like 10 times better than either one of these. Let's take a sip. Oh, good Lord, that's delicious. So much better. These aren't even in the same league. Okay, this is like bottom shelf stuff here, the Midwinters. Sagamore is like top tier. That's the difference. They're not even close. They're not playing the same game. One of them's playing Little League, and one's playing in the World Series of the MLB. Okay, so this is worlds better. Go buy the Sagamore. Ignore this Midwinter's trash. Again, like they did this year. I know it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but just being honest with you. Now, I know the port was very hard to find, so maybe you have instead. Little Sagamore Spirit Sherry finish. So obviously finished in sherry barrels. This was a 4-year-old straight rye finished for 1.5 years in PX sherry barrels. Most people really liked this one last year. This was a wider release from Sagamore. It was around 70 doll hairs. So even cheaper. Let's finish the pour here quick. Alright, now, I know this is differently finished. Bear with me, it's still a rye. This one's a younger rye with a shorter finish than the other Sagamore. And more widely available and cheaper. How does it compare to Midwinter Nights Nightmare? Give it a nosing. Wow, just tons of sherry on here, vanilla, caramel. Wow, much better nose again. Let's take a sip. Caramels, vanillas. Again, all that just bouquet of fruits from the sherry on there. The sherry flavor, superb. Destroys both of the Midwinters. Port and the sherry are much better than the Midwinters. Here's Act 11 again. We'll just revisit one last time before we put a nail in this one. Yeah, it has like an off-putting rye. It's like a young, youthful rye. It's a shame, really. If you like more dilly rye and you're gonna like the Act 11, but it's still not as good as the Sagamore's. And for nearly double the price, I mean, $130 hairs this year. It's a skip. It's a skip from Bourbon Bill. Is it better than last year's? Sure. It's better than Act 10. Is it a buy? No. I save your money on this one and go buy some Sagamore products instead. Much better. And I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them, so that's why I talk about them. There you go. If you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, everyone. Thanks. Have a good evening.